Hey, this is Dino from Mythos Lending, and I have two objectives here today. One is to give my clients something of extreme value, and two is to give every loan officer and every real estate agent out there listening right now something that they can give to their clients that not only is of big value, but something that can help them grow their business. And I say that because all too often, whether it's realtor or loan officer, all you do is your job, and know that it shouldn't stop there. If you give more, then you will get more. So don't stop with just completing the transaction, right? Look at opportunities that will help your clients, even if you're not going to make any money off it. If you're not going to make any money, but it's going to help your clients, you're doing the right thing. And you do the right thing, then just through the plain old simple theory of reciprocity, good things come back to you. So check out Christine Alleman from TrustSafe LLC, and let's hear what she has to say. Christine, welcome to the show.
Hi, Dino. Thank you. Founder and CEO here.
All right. So this is really interesting because I've known Christine for a long time. She started this company and I found it of real value for me. I found it a real value for my clients. And now what I want to do is to other loan officers out there, I just want to let you know, don't just stop at doing the loan, right? I mean, if you have that attitude of client for life, you really want to take care. You should want to take care of your clients in every aspect, right? It's not just the loan. Think about every aspect of your client's life. So, number one, right, if they buy a house, should they have a trust? If they don't have a trust, they should, right? I mean, you should by now know the benefits of having a trust for your clients. Do they have life insurance? Because how often do a husband and wife qualify for a loan together? And then if one of them dies, well, how is the other one going to afford the house, right? How are they going to afford school? How are they going to afford everything else that is part of their lifestyle? So life insurance is very important. Um, Regular insurance, home and auto, are they shopping it? Are you helping them get the best rate, right? All of this stuff. But now we're going to take it one step further with Christine. I want her to explain what her company does because it's all about trust, wills, and all that. But it's not the trust in the will or the healthcare directive. It's about the proper storage of it. So, Christine, tell everybody what your company does.
Thanks, Dino. So, one of the things that I like to say to our clients when we're introducing it is while we are a national digital vault, which is a place that you can safely secure and store your entire estate plan, your wills, your trusts, your healthcare directives, your powers of attorneys, and also your insurance documents, your financial investment documents. It's a safe place to keep it in the event that there is a statistic that it will become lost, damaged, stolen, altered, misplaced. We like to talk about, with regard to connecting us to your business, the three P's of home ownership. So there's the preparing for your future by purchasing your home, and then planning for that future and preserving it by keeping it in a trust estate plan, and then protecting that plan by storing it in TrustSafe's digital vault.
So let's understand that, right? So trust safe digital vault. You know, I'm just gonna play the client who doesn't want to spend any extra money right now for a second. Why do I need to do that? My trust is in the safe. My will is in the safe and it's protected. How do you
The
respond to
safe in
that?
your home. Okay, we'll start there. So the safe in your home, obviously you get in and out of your safe, so you'll access it from time to time. Actually, the majority of people keep it in a filing cabinet in their home. But homes, just talking about California and Pacific Palisades and all of the fires and everything that has occurred out there, homes burned down. They're burglarized, they're flooded. There's all kinds of different catastrophes that can occur that not only has your safe been, baked the documents within the safe, but also the water that's used to put out the fire gets into the safe, destroys the documents, and these are generally your original documents. But they become destroyed. Your backup drives become destroyed. Your computer becomes destroyed. The places that you would generally like to store it.
Christine, I'm so smart. I have mine in the cloud, right? So I don't care if there's a fire. I got mine in the cloud. What do you say to that?
Yeah. Two things with that. That's one of my favorite questions. One is, have you given your password to everybody? That would kind of defeat the purpose of the cloud. If you've passed away, nobody has your passwords now. But the other aspect to that is how many people I know who store their passwords somewhere in the house in a notebook that becomes lost or destroyed and still can't be accessed in the cloud. So there is not a lot of foolproof ways to be able to store a tangible document, but moving into a digital world, this has become a safe place to store all of your most vital documents that are important both during your life and then thereafter.
So, me being cheap by nature, Christine asked me about all this stuff, and I was like, I got mine in the cloud, and and I'm smart enough to let everybody know or have like a plan if anything happens to me of where the password goes and how people can get in. Um, but I do acknowledge that I don't think most people are. I don't think most people have actually like planned all that out. And I would venture out to say that, especially from a man's perspective, most of the time I don't think about my wife and I dying at the same time. I just think about me dying. And if I
Mm.
die, she knows what everything is. But what happens if both people die at the same time? I mean, what happens to your kids? What happens to all the assets that you've worked so hard for? It should go to your kids or whoever your beneficiaries are, and there needs to be an execution plan in place that makes sense, that everybody knows what to do. And what if your kids are young? Don't tell me that they know how to get to your cloud storage and
Yeah.
find your trust and all that. But then Christine, when I was questioning her on all this stuff, she actually had something else that I thought was really interesting. How, let's just say you're in the hospital and it's kind of a life and death type situation. I believe the doctors can actually access this as well, correct? To get the healthcare directive.
One of the great things about TrustSafe is that you can store your powers of attorney, your healthcare directives, which are only effective during your life, but are a very important part of helping your plan to preserve or not, the DNR aspect of your life. And TrustSafe can be accessed from any mobile device. It has a share option, an email option, a view option. So that is one aspect. Another aspect is for anybody who's in the database, it's Google searchable and it can lead you to our website. So if people are looking for this information about you, people who are entitled to this information and don't know where to look, can Google you and then find your name is in peoplefinder.com, whitepages.com, and TrustSafe LLC.com. And that can help lead them there so that they can then actually go to customer service to request information if somebody, in the database isn't able to bring it up themselves. Also, there is a pretty high statistic. It's actually 1 in 100,000 deaths is a couple for
Mm.
various reasons, but husband and wife,
And I also found, I mean, I thought this was a staggering number. You said there was 7.2 billion in unpaid claims
death
or
benefit
just
proceeds.
death benefit. That's
Yeah, there are
insane, guys.
$7.2 billion currently as of 2024 that have not been paid to beneficiaries who were named or are otherwise the extended relative of someone who was named because they don't know where to look. They didn't know they were a beneficiary because the insured did not share that information, which again, when you're talking about the exception of the rule is that the majority of people don't share their estate information with their beneficiaries or their children or their loved ones. The exception are the ones who actually do share that information. So while TrustSafe wouldn't necessarily be required for everyone who has an estate plan, it's definitely beneficial if you do have it, because it is the rule of thumb that people aren't going to know where to look, and it isn't expensive. We've made it a no subscription plan. It's a one-time low payment. There's something for everybody, and it really becomes a question of can you afford not to.
How much does it cost?
So there's some. When I say there's something for everybody, there is our unlimited legacy account, which for $249 one time payment, you can upload your entire estate plan. And you can, for as long as your life, change that, upload your amendments, change your power of attorney, change your healthcare directives. And then we have our second plan, which is called the Pro Tem plan for $199. You can upload your entire estate plan. If you decide to change it later, there's a small fee, but that's plan that's more geared towards people who are advanced in age and they know they're not going to change their estate plan. We also have our free account that allows anybody to go in and create their digital database vault, but they're just going to put in the information as to where their estate plan is located. Because across the board, like you were saying, you help people beyond what you offer for sale. In our case, it's like, well, if you don't feel like you're ready to pay 249 or $199, then go in for free and put your information and identify where you've put it. So there are stories like Aretha Franklin, who, when she passed away, had a 30-year-old will, and everyone knew there was something else, but they couldn't find it. And then they had to distribute her estate plan based on outdated information. And then 9 months later, after the distribution had already fundamentally completed, they found it between her couch cushions. Now, if she had put it in safe, she could have said it's between my couch cushion.
And tell one more story, and only because you're still going to have some people that are just like, I don't need to spend that money, right? But I would venture out to say that if you're listening and you're the child of an elderly, mother or father, you should consider doing it for them. And Christine told me this story just a moment before we started recording about an estranged child that wasn't in the life of this family at all. So tell this story.
So, one of the children and the father were very, very close, and he'd had a child with an out of wedlock child who he had no relationship with, who even in adulthood still had no relationship with. And when the father sold his home, he'd gotten over $1 million in cash, put it into a savings account. And the son, who he was very close to, was certain that there was will because they'd always discussed the will. They'd always discussed the father's plan. The father suddenly had a heart attack and passed away at a young age, before he was ever able to purchase his next home, and they never found the will. And so his plan, what he had told everyone, what his plan was never able to manifest because they had to probate it. And his estranged child, I'm not for or against estranged children, but his estranged child, who he intended to not provide for as an adult that he was not close to, then ended up getting half of his estate. And that is just, generally, certainly in the state of California, that's the way it worked. We have so many stories of family members who were so certain that their grandparent, their mother, their best friend had a will, had a trust, and nobody ever found it. And so even when a house has been titled in the trust, if they don't find the trust, you're still going to go to court to deal with that.
So for anybody interested in buying this package, it's TrustSafe LLC.com. And for other mortgage professionals, this is a great thing to offer your clients. Contact Christine if you want. She'll send you some documentation, anything else you might want. Do an email blast to your clients. Let them know about this. This is something of real value that will help your clients. And it's a great way to stay engaged and help grow your business. So Christine Elliman, Trust Safe LLC, call or text to 623 226 7335.
And
Thanks again,
right now we're
Christine.
offering all of those referrals through this podcast, an ethos lending discount for 10% off. And that code is EL25. You can enter it at purchase and it'll automatically deduct that for your customers or your referrals.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I hope you guys all take advantage of this.